Welcome back, everybody. This week, we're going to continue the topic of fix this next, which is harder to say than you would think. So if you hear us bumble it a few times, harder to say. But anyway, last week, we introduced Fix This Next because we are now certified Fix This Next advisors. If you don't know what Fix This Next is, just go back to last week's episode, give it a quick listen. But basically, it's a book by author Mike Michalowicz. He's most popular for the Profit First.
Yeah, that's probably his biggest one. He's wrote many other business books. If you haven't read them, you need to check them out.
Yeah, they're good books. Yeah. So that's what he's most popular for. But he's got Fix This Next. So, and in a nutshell, it just helps you focus on what to fix next in your business, because he kind of found that businesses overall kind of have the same general, like very broad categories of things that they need to work on.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess in that nutshell, it just really helps you narrow down what you need to work on in your business. And I like this for a couple of reasons. Sorry, I'm like choking on my own spit. I like this for a couple of reasons. Number one, I like it because I don't like to see people work on the wrong things in their business, because then you're just wasting your time and effort and energy.
Yep.
I like it because so many people can spend so much time like worrying about like doing what's like the next right thing. Like, what should I be doing right? Like, I don't want to mess it up. Oh my, and I don't want anyone to get into that like paralysis analysis of doing nothing because you're so worried about doing the right thing. I just want you to do the next thing. Just, find what you need to fix next and take it to the bank.
Yeah. Too, I guess people don't know what the next step is too.
Oh, that is too. It kind of goes along with doing the wrong thing or doing nothing because you just don't know what to do.
Yeah, you just kind of, I think I should be doing this, or I think I need to do this, and hope that solves a problem. And if it doesn't, then you're like, oh, crap.
Oh, crap. I just did all that for nothing.
Yeah.
So it really helps get that laser focus. And it goes in perfectly with, we've had our green growth method inside our $1 Million Academy for a while.
Yep.
You can look back through past episodes where we have talked about it more. But the Fix This Next it helps really identify what people need to fix next in their business. And it just completely plays off the steps that we have in our green growth method. It's like Fix This Next will help point out what you need to fix. And then we've got the tools to fix it inside our green growth methed. So it's really just it just really lined up perfectly. It's like it was made for us.
Well, it does. And that's when I first read it, I was like, oh, we've got to do this. And I think
because, I created a quiz to help people kind of figure out where to start with our green growth method, because it's hard. Unless you're starting a business from scratch, unless this is your very first year in business, it's really hard to direct people where they need to go because everybody is so different.
Yeah.
If this is your first year in business, then I can give you like a start here, end here, like timeline of here's things to do. But if you've already been in business, it's really a jumbly mess. That's why our green growth method is in a circle. If you've ever seen it, it is not a straight line.
No, because you start different points in your business, or, people come to us in different points in their business. So we're trying to figure out a way, and there was like no linear path. So we'll just make it a circle, and it just made sense.
Right. And so that's why Fix This Next plus green growth method has really just worked out. It's pretty flippin' sweet. So anyway, inside the book, if you're interested in the Fix This Next book, we actually have a free chapter of it that you can get. If you go to milliondollarlandscaper.com, we have a free portion of our $1 Million Academy open for everybody. Yep. That's where we've got all of our best free resources. And so we actually have a chapter of this book in there if anybody is interested. So if you read the book, or if you are watching us on YouTube right now, you can see that Mike Michalowicz, the author, he has what is called like the business hierarchy of needs. And this is that like structure that every business kind of has. It's like you have to have this bottom layer in order for this next layer to work. And he's got it pointed.
It's basically based off of, it is based off of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So if you remember back in school, we talked about all the necessary
We've talked
needs.
about this a couple of times. Yeah. If you've ever had I think it's in like a psychology class, they talk about, the personal hierarchy of needs is like, if you don't have air and you can't breathe, then you're not worried about like finding food. You have to be able to breathe and be alive before you're worried about food. And that's basically what he's done for business. And so what we wanted to talk about today is this very bottom layer in this business hierarchy of needs, and that is sales. Sales is, if you're imagining just a triangle, the sales is the bottom, because you can't have a business without sales. Like That's why we're here.
Yeah.
You have to sell things.
What I like about it, it's not, when you think of sales, you may think about, I just need to get more work and sell more work. But what Mike Michalowicz does, he breaks it down even further into,
Well, it's
different
a lot
aspects.
more complex than that.
Yeah, yeah. And he basically goes on from the point of gathering the leads or the person's contacting you all the way through to where you're actually receiving the money and the work is complete. Everybody's happy on both ends. That's what I like about it. And that's what you have to think about with the sale portion, is not just going out and doing more sales.
Right. Well, that's a common misconception, as people think that, and that's not even just for sales. That's even for like the profit level of your business. Everybody just thinks more sales is the answer to everything. But if you do read the book, you'll see that, like Scott pointed out, there's a lot more to it than that. So we were going to kind of run through real quick, just a little bit of what actually the book has in it when it comes to sales.
Yeah. So we're just going to give you a quick breakdown of it. So we definitely encourage you to check out this book and read it. It's a very good book. But one of the things he talks about in here is called lifestyle congruence. And basically what that is in a nutshell is just basically, is your business providing you enough money for you to personally have enough for your personal life? Are you paying yourself? And the way we look at it, we see it a couple different things. One, you may not know what you need to do or what you need to make from your business to, personally support you and your family. And we also see a lot of times where landscapers don't pay themselves. Like, I know my parents early on, they weren't paying themselves. They're more worried about paying their employees, and they weren't putting the money aside to pay themselves. And it made for some hard times at home. I know that.
Sure. And at first, it's one of those, it's such a catch-22, because when you're very, very, very first starting out, like literally just starting your first year, you're probably going to have some of these hiccups. So if you've just started and you aren't paying yourself what you think you need yet, like you'll get there. I don't want to discount that. This is really more for if you've kind of been going for a while and you're past that point.
Yeah. But you still need to know what.
But you need to know what that is. I guess is that your point?
Yeah.
You actually need to know, like, even if you're not there yet, what are you aspiring to? How much do you need to sell in order to make enough to support yourself?
Well,
is that where you're going?
Well, the other thing too is if you know that you need to make whatever, we'll just say $4,000 a month to support your personal life and to feed your family and everything, you can kind of do some backwards math and to figure out, okay, if I want to put away 20% of my profits, then you can do some backwards math and figure out how much you need to do in sales.
Right.
So there's a lot to it, but it's very important to know that base point, well, how much your business needs to pay you. So
right, and this is where it ties in with our green growth method. So inside our green growth method, we've got a little course we're dropping that is just about making a personal budget.
Yep.
Because you can't, when you're a business owner, you can't separate personal from business completely. Like if this is what is going to be your livelihood, you need to have a personal budget.
Yeah,
you're going to need to know what you need to have. So, so that's kind of how we marry the two.
Yeah.
So like if you took the assessment, it came up that, lifestyle congruence is what is wrong or what you need to focus on next. He calls it your business's vital need. I feel bad. Like we're using all these terms that are used in the book. Like those will make sort of more sense if you've read the book. But the vital need is like, if you take the assessment, the vital need is what it comes up. That's like the result. It's like what it pinpoints for you to fix next.
Yeah. And lifestyle congruence is.
It can be one of them.
Yep.
So that was a big backwards way of getting there. But anyway. So, and that all falls under the category of sales because then you have to sell enough to support yourself.
Yep.
So that is something that could come up if you take the assessment. So what else is under sales?
The next portion, the next vital need is prospect attraction. So basically, as it sounds, are you getting enough people coming into your business to get
Sure.
the business where you need? Are you doing enough,
And this
to
is
support
where you need to know things like your closing ratio,
Yep.
stuff like that. So while it's real simple to be like, oh, I just need to attract more prospects. Well, this is where it gets a little tricky. It's not only do you need to attract more, but they need to be the right prospects.
Yes,
Are you
that's
attracting
key.
a bunch of tire kickers that are just looking for lowball prices, or are you actually attracting good clients? Okay, when you attract those good clients, what's your closing ratio when you go out on stuff like this? So it can kind of like snowball really quickly into a lot that you need to think about.
That whole ties into like your marketing and all kinds of things, but it can get pretty in depth on everything. But are you getting those leads coming in that you need to close those sales?
Yep. So what else do you have there that
next
falls
one is
under
actually
sales?
is your client conversion. So
Okay, I kind of touched on that. Yeah.
So are you now converting them into actual sales? Are you doing that? And this kind of leads into like, you're pre-qualifying them to make sure they're the right client, like Kitty said, and they're the right people for your business. You can't be going out just doing work for everybody. At first you're probably doing that, but at a certain point you need to start narrowing down your client. And
right, because at first you might be trying a little bit of everything just to see what you're really good at, what you like to do, what's paying the most. But and once again, to kind of tie this all back to the green growth method, like you would take the assessment, and if your vital need comes back, that client conversion, well, then we've got resources to help everybody with that client conversion.
Like we had the pre-qualifying questions in there, so you can download those.
Yes, so you can start. If you haven't been pre-qualifying customers, then you can start doing that. Like we wanted to make it as easy for people as possible, so we've really taken everything that is in the Fix This Next and lining it up with everything we had, and then if we found any gaps, we would fill that in too.
Yeah, that's one of the things we actually looking at our stuff. We found a couple gaps, and we're going to be creating some new courses to come in there to kind of fill those voids.
Because we want anyone who takes this assessment to be like able to immediately start fixing the problem with done for you resources. That's kind of the goal we're going with this. So anyway, thus far, just to recap a little bit before we move on, if you took this assessment and it came up as sales as being one of your issues, the vital needs underneath the umbrella of sales thus far that we've talked about have been lifestyle congruence. That's that. Do you make enough to even support yourself? The prospect attraction. That's, are you getting enough leads in? Are they the right kind of leads? Stuff like that. Client conversion. That's the next one. And then that's that, are you closing enough and stuff like that. So that would, your sales process would kind of fall under that too.
Yeah. Are you,
like if you show up, smelling like you just rolled around in a manure truck and your clothes are all ripped, then that might be something that you need to, go ahead and address inside your sales process.
Yeah.
That's a silly example, but you know what I'm saying?
I personally have seen it where some of these people come in. I get it. You're working in the field all day, but I would personally bring a change of clothes, and I would change my clothes if I was working in the field.
At least slap on a clean shirt. Nobody wants to see your pit stains. Throw a little. Well, you can tell we have high school age boys. I'm like throwing some body spray. Axe. I was trying to say axe and body spray at the same time. Well, sometimes we can't leave out of this house without choking on it. The kids are a little heavy with it. Don't put on as much body spray as a high school boy does, but maybe just like get some deodorant. I don't know. So anyway, okay, we've got a couple more that fall under sales here. What is the next one?
So the next one's delivering on commitments. And typically I don't see many issues with this for landscapers. The only issue I have come across is where you are so busy with work, and you have Mrs. Jones calling over here, and you got Mrs. Smith calling over here. So you'll go start Mrs. Jones' house and do a little bit. Then you'll pull off and go start Mrs. Smith's house over here, and then this other lady calls over here, and this person calls over here. And
why are you always saying it's the ladies calling, complaining? I'm just pointing out a little bit in your example, but go ahead. It's always the women calling. But go ahead. Didn't mean to interrupt your flow.
But so you're busy starting all these jobs, and you're not fully getting them done. So that's the only issue that I have come across where we're not just getting the jobs done instead of doing this and then going.
So then a fix for that would be maybe I can't talk today. Working on your scheduling just a little bit better. Yeah. And sometimes too, if you start and stop jobs because of weather, that one's hard because obviously we cannot control the weather. You're going to run into customers that just like don't get that. Yeah. You're just going to. So if you're new in this business and you haven't run into that yet, you will embrace it right now. It's going to rain for like 4 days straight, and the ground is going to be like just soggy, swampy mess. And they're going to be like, "Why aren't you out here?" And you're going to be like, "Really?" But it's going to happen. Just embrace it. But if you are communicating with your customers, letting them know, hey, it's been raining for 4 days straight. We're probably not going to get out there, and then giving them a projected date. That's ways you can kind of stay ahead of it. Yep. Will they maybe be snippy and annoyed with you still? Yes. But will they be happy that you called? Yes. Yep. So, and that's just kind of like more of that done for you stuff that we'll have inside of the academy. It's like phone scripts and stuff like that. Because some people just don't know what to say when they call, or if you do it via text or email, you don't know like the right, it's just, sometimes it's hard to just come up with the words. And so this is back to the green growth method where, okay, we'll have as much done stuff, as much stuff done for you as we can. So
It's getting late.
Can you tell? Yes, we're recording this a little late at night as well because I can't talk.
Yep.
Okay,
So last one.
So yeah, what's the last vital need that
The
can come
last
up under
one
sales?
is called collecting on your commitments. So this
Ooh,
is,
and people have this problem sometimes
is.
getting paid on time.
yeah. So this is just like Katie said, you're not getting paid on time or when the job's complete, or and this could vary a lot. It depends, if you're doing residential, it could be commercial. Commercial, you're not getting paid 30, 60, 90 days out sometimes. So that can be hard on cash flow. It could be, you're not, I've talked to some companies where they don't, their crews are out doing the job, they finish the job, and then the owner of the company has to go out there and collect. And, it's just one more step. So we actually had our crew foreman go out there and they would finish the job. They would turn the invoice in.
This was for landscaping,
Correct.
like bigger
Yeah.
landscaping
Yes, sorry.
jobs where typically at least some portion of the money had already been collected. Like when you sign your paperwork, then we usually got some more when we were halfway done. And then it would just be that final portion that was due at the very end. And
Yeah.
our foreman had the, ability to go ahead and collect that check.
Check money, whatever it was. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. And this again is just having a system or process in place. And like we, in the academy, for example, we have a how to get paid procedure. So
Yes.
we have some scripts and a form that you can help keep track of this to
Right.
make sure you are getting paid.
Because yes, for some of maybe those more commercial stuff or bigger stuff, or if you don't collect that check upon completion, you can start sending out communications a little bit beforehand.
Yeah.
So we've got those kind of already all written out and done for you.
And one other thing too, I see on this portion of it is that, if you're only a 1 or 2 man per show, you're having to do all the invoicing yourself. You just fall behind because you're busy working and you're just tired and you come home and you have family. And I get all that, but you have to stay up on your billing and your invoicing. And this might be as simple as hiring somebody part-time to kind of help do these types of things and make sure it's getting.
You could
sent
hire a
out.
virtual assistant
Yep.
to help out.
There's a lot of different things. So, but you have to get paid. Otherwise you're not going to have the money there.
No point in doing the
pay
work.
yourself.
This is
So,
not a charity
yeah.
event.
No,
So-
I don't know anybody who wants to do this for free. So.
No, it's okay to do a little something for free, every now and again for like your kid's school or something. But we're talking overall in general, you have to get paid. And it's kind of one of those awkward things where people feel like you shouldn't feel bad about collecting because you are owed that money, but people do. They feel bad. So,
Yeah.
and nobody likes to hassle people.
Yeah, and the other portion that kind of goes into this too, and collecting on the commitments, is to make sure your clients are happy when they're you're done. Typically, people, if there's something wrong, they typically won't say anything. So you need to be following up with this customer that when you're collecting the check, that they're happy, everything's good. Like we have a final walkthrough form that you go through at the end, and make sure what is done in the contract is done on the final form, and everybody's happy.
Right. So that's something that you can have. So say they haven't paid, they didn't pay directly upon completion for whatever reason. It's like, well, you've got that final walkthrough that this was all approved.
Yep.
So it's just little things like that. Once again, that we kind of have already done for you in the academy that you can use just to get yourself paid. I don't know. Do we have anything on there about setting up like electronic payments, or do we just talk about it?
No, we just talk about it because everybody uses a different system, but there's other forms using credit cards.
The point of that is to just make it as easy as possible for your customers to pay you. This day and age, not everybody wants to shuffle into the house and get their checkbook out.
I don't
At
really-
any given point in time, I really can't even tell you where my checkbook is. Yeah. I want to be able to pay you electronically.
And I think more and more people are open to this. But it's like Katie said, it has to be easy. If it's not easy, nobody wants to deal with it. So
right.
Whether, if you're doing mowing, can you keep that credit card on file so it just automatically gets billed? It's just one of the things you have to kind of think about. So
absolutely.
So that pretty much covers it. So just kind of recap.
And these, if you read the book, these are what would come up as vital needs underneath the sales, which is the bottom of the that is like the pillar of your landscaping business. Like if your sales aren't where they need to be, if all of these things that we have listed off aren't on point, then you don't work on something else. It's like get this part of your house in order first, and then you can work on something else. So do you want to read them off again?
Yep. So just real quick, the vital needs are lifestyle congruence, prospect attraction, client conversion, delivery on commitments, and collecting on commitments. Yep.
Yeah, I'm like, we got the book out there. So, yeah. So, if you are interested in reading this book, like we said, we've got a free chapter. Go to milliondollarlandscaper.com and you can sign up for our free portion of the Academy where you can read the book.
Yep.
If you want to take a Fix This Next assessment and see, kind of pinpoint what that vital need is inside your business, you can go to, milliondollarlandscaper.fixthisnext.com.
It's milliondollarlandscaper.com/FTN.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry. The actual evaluation.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, you're correct.
Yes. Or if you want to know more about Fix This Next, the milliondollarlandscaper.com.ftn.
Yeah, we'll put all the links below, but yes.
So many links. But we'll have those all kind of there. You'll get there. If you ever just go to our homepage, you can get to all of this stuff from there. But
one thing I do want to say, if you go to take the assessment, it's on a separate platform than Million Dollar Landscaper. It's through the author's website. So
But you have to use our links if you want us to give you feedback on what to fix next and how to fix it. Then you have to go through the links on our site or go to that $1 Million Landscaper .fixthisnext.com. So that's
so just so you kind of know what's going on with that. So if you have to enter your information, that's why. So
absolutely. So if you're interested in any of that, check it all out.
Yeah, no, it's just the webinar we have on Fix This Next is really good. Mike Michalowicz does an awesome job in explaining it. So if you want to learn more, don't have time to read the book,
get to our webpage, watch the quick webinar on it, because the author himself does a portion of it. So he explains it really well.
Yep.
All right. You ready for your end of the podcast questions?
Let's do it.
Dun, dun, dun. Describe your sense of humor in one word.
Ooh, probably dry.
Yeah, that's very accurate.
I'm sure everybody could tell.
Dry or non-existent is the only other word that came into mind. But
I remember I'm funny at work.
Yeah, Scott like literally told me that once because I'm like, you're not funny. And he's like, well, I'm funny when I'm at work. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. He saved that for everybody else. Thank you. Have you ever been arrested? And if so, for what? Oh, yeah, I know the answer. But
yes, I have.
What were you arrested for there, bad boy? It wasn't for being too funny. Sorry.
No, I was actually underage drinking. I was 20 years old. And I had a party. And it was like a very small party. It wasn't even a party. It was people playing cards. We had like 4 or 5 people.
You didn't have that many friends. No. So I think I was supposed to go to said party, but we didn't go. I didn't feel well or something. There was a reason why. We were not dating yet. We were just in the same circle of friends. Yeah, and
we just moved in. I just moved in this apartment, had some people who were playing cards. Music was too loud, and the neighbors called the police, and I had a couple drinks. And
right. So in case you
there
were,
I went.
If anybody was wondering, who you're listening to over the airwaves here, it's Scott with his rap sheet.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. That was, many, many moons ago.
It was a long time ago. I thought I pulled out 3 questions to ask you, but there's only 2. I might have dropped one. Oh, no, here. Is it? Here. Would you rather have unlimited sushi for life or unlimited tacos for life?
I think you know the answer, tacos.
That's obviously tacos. Yeah. Although I know people like sushi a lot.
Yeah, no, tacos.
But
tacos
in this house, we will eat the tacos.
Absolutely. I can eat tacos 24/7.
All right. Well, don't forget to go to Fix This Next. If you go to... I feel like we've already given them so many links. You can go to fixthisnext.com. You can go to milliondollarlandscaper.fixthisnext.com. You can go to milliondollarlandscaper.com/FTM. Did we make too many links? Is this too confusing?
Well, we only have really one that's on our website. So if you go to our website, it's much easier.
Just go to milliondollarlandscaper.com and you'll find it. You'll see the big yellow Fix This Next book, and you can get to it from there.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Am I making it weird by bringing up all the links?
There's a lot of links. There is, but just go to the website. Make it simple.
Okay. I'm sorry. This is what happens when we do this late at night.
Yeah, it's too late.
All right.
All right, guys. Have a great night. We'll talk to you soon.